because it's so important. So linear functions, in your notes, let's go ahead and fill in here. It says general forms. We know y equals mx plus b, don't we? We've seen that. What form is that?
The slope-intercept.
Slope-intercept form. Ax plus by equals c. We've seen that too. What is that one?
The standard.
Standard form. Very good. That's usually the two forms that we see linear equations in. Write those down. You have the notes. You have the outline. You need to fill it in. The graph is what of a linear equation?
Line.
The graph is a line. Linear has the word line in it, hence it's a line. So what I want you to do is sketch a picture of what a linear function looks like. It's not going to be exact. You're just sketching. Just draw an xy axis. Draw an xy axis and draw a line in there. That's all we're doing. Quick. And yes, I'm going to go through this quickly, so you need to stay caught up with me, please. The next type of function which we've talked about, have we talked about these? Yes, we've graphed these, are absolute value functions. What do those graphs look like?
There's a V.
What do these graphs look like?
V's.
A V. They look like a V. So sketch a picture if you haven't already done so. Draw in what an absolute value function looks like. We know that under the general form here, we know it's an absolute value function if it has those absolute value bars in it. That's the giveaway. That's how we know exactly what type of function it is here. Linear equations are usually written in slope-intercept form or standard form, where absolute value functions, they have that absolute value bars in them. Here's a third one. We've just kind of gotten started on these. These are called quadratics. Put this down. The general form, we haven't really talked about a standard form for quadratics, but we know something is quadratic if it has an exponent of what? 2. If it has an exponent of 2 anywhere in its problem, if that's the highest exponent, we know that it's quadratic. The graph is a parabola, which you guys know. Sketching a picture of what a parabola looks like. A cubic function, this is new. We've not done a lot with cubics at this point. The general form here, the big thing to know is that it has a cube in it. If the highest exponent in your problem is a cube, then that is a cubic. Jordan, you with us? The graph of a cubic, to me, kind of looks like a chair. Does it look like a chair to you? Kind of a funny looking chair, but it kind of looks like something you can sit in. So that's how I want you to think of a cubic. It looks like a chair. Now this one down below is also a cubic function. Looks like almost a folded up chair, doesn't it? So cubics look like a chair. The next type of function is called an exponential function. For these, I just want you to, you've heard the word. If you are given a graph, you might know what an exponential graph looks like. We'll talk more about these. Exponential functions to me look like an L or a J. Do you guys know who LL Cool J is?
You've never heard of him?
You've never heard of him? Oh man, I knew this day would come. He was like the rapper of rappers when I was younger. Like LL Cool J was the guy. Do what? Oh, did he? Yeah, he was a very famous singer back in the day. I don't know, maybe he's not as famous now.
No.
But like LL Cool
is.
J, you don't know who he is?
No, I know who he is. I'm just saying, I don't think he's famous.
No, he's not famous anymore?
No.
Okay. Think of LL Cool J. I'm liking L's and J's. The reason I even brought his name up is because exponential functions either make a J, like this one does, or maybe it makes an L, like this one does. Making LL Cool J.
Taylor's probably know. If you've seen him, you probably know.
Huh?
If Taylor's seen him, you probably know who it was.
They don't know what his face looks like.
He's black.
Yeah, I figured that. Didn't they? LL Cool J, but.
What other type of function is called a logarithmic function? Again, we have not done anything with logarithms. We're not going to until you get to Algebra 2. My focus in Algebra 1 is that you guys have heard the word logarithmic function. And you know that if the graph looks like this, it's probably a logarithmic function. That's it. That's my only basis that you can recognize what this function looks like. It may also look like this. It may have another graph. Maybe going either direction. Either way. It won't have both graphs on the same grid. I think that's kind of confusing how I said that. But the graph could be going either direction for a logarithmic graph. So that brings us to our clickers. What I'm going to do now is give you some functions and see if you can identify what type they are. So on your clickers right now, this should be quick. I'm giving you a graph and I'm giving you 4 types. I want you to identify what type of function it is and submit it on your clicker. That's 13. Letter D is correct. Quadratic functions, what does their graph look like? Has that U? Well, this is upside down U, but it's still a U, isn't it? So it's quadratic. Letter D would be correct. How about this one? Submit it on your clicker. Very good. D, logarithmic, is correct. Remember, I always get exponential logarithmic confused. That's why I told you the LL Cool J thing. But look like an L or a J, that's the exponential. D is correct. How about this one? If it makes a line, what is it? Linear. The word linear has line in it. It is linear. How about this one? Absolute value can't be that one. What shape does absolute value make?
V.
Makes a V. LL Cool J. Isn't this the L? Okay, so we're thinking exponential. B is correct. This one. Very good. Absolute value. Absolute value makes the V. This is an upside down V, but still a V. Letter A.
Choose
He
B.
looks like a chair.
You're gonna like say I'm going. Is that recording still on?
Yeah.
Repeat it.
There you go.
There's a recording upstairs.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So lots of B's here. Looks like a cubic. What did we say cubic functions look like?
Chair.
A chair. It kind of looks like a chair, maybe a folded up chair. Like this one. Now, this I'm doing something a little different. I'm giving you a graph, and I want to know which one of these equations could be that of the graph. answers. 10 or 10? Ooh, a little bit all over the place on this one. B is the right answer. It's quadratic, isn't it? Okay? What's the kicker? How do we know if something's quadratic? What did we say the highest exponent was? Has a 2. Yeah, I know it's kind of tough to see if you guys are in the back. But B does have an exponent of 2 would be quadratic. Alright. That is all that I have for today. Here is my plan for you. Tomorrow we will take a quiz over square roots, simplifying radicals, solving equations using squares. Hang on guys, we're not quite finished. Hang on. Simplifying those square roots. We'll review very, very briefly at the beginning there, but not very long. And then we'll take our quiz. After our quiz, I'm going to give you an assignment that deals with this. You're identifying the functions based on the graph. Put them onto your notes. You're going to want them for tomorrow. So put them into your notebook. If you have a clicker, calculator, let's go ahead and return those as well. Oh, just wait. You've just got a few minutes.